We begin in the South region with the top overall seed, the Auburn Tigers reign supreme. And then who will come out of this? Well, let's begin with those Auburn Tigers
Okay.
as they handle business, defeating 16 seed Alabama State 83-63. And then they defeated the 9 seed Creighton 82-70 in a round of 32 to make it to the Sweet 16.
Mm.
Miles Kelly against Alabama State, 23 points, 8 for 16 from the field, 7 for 15 from 3-point range. Janai Broom, one of the candidates for National Player of the Year, gave you a double with 14 and 11. Against Creighton, it was propped for the Tigers with 23 points, 7 for 14 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3-point range with 6 rebounds. Cole Johnson, the top seed dogs, look like the top seed dogs.
And they're looking like it from the right area. If they could continue to lock down teams when they need to on the defensive end, they can be a problem going into Sweet 16, Elite 8, and the Final Four with the national semifinal and then the national championship. Because if they can keep scoring the way they're scoring and actually D up teams down the stretch, yeah, their chances of winning it all. We might see Bruce Pearl act stupid in Indianapolis come the first Monday in April. Goodness gracious.
The top seeds, they are into the Sweet 16. Who joining them? The Michigan State Spartans, the second seed team in the South region. They got an 87-62 win over Bryant, and then a 71-63 win over the Lobos of New Mexico, who came off knocking off Marquette and Shaka Smart. Don't like how that looks for Shaka Smart at this moment in time, if I'm being completely honest.
Hmm.
For the Spartans against Bryant, 5 Spartans scored in double figures for them.
They need more of that.
And then in the game yesterday, no score. The Spartans that drove them to victory and to the Sweet 16. There's a saying, Coach Johnson, I'm pretty sure you have heard of it. And they do it, it says January, February, Izzo. And it continues.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know what he does with his teams. If they have even a modicum of really good talent, they seem to start slow and then they seem to sneak up on you, and then all of a sudden they just go on this run and this tear. Where it's like, what was this team in December and January, where they look unstoppable when they get to here? And the right formula, like like with any Izzo led team, is prevalent. 62 points in the round of 64, 63 allowed in the round of 32. If they keep doing that, Auburn, that Elite Eight matchup might be a little steep and tough for them.
But they have another SEC matchup coming up that we will preview later on. Because the South region is basically 2 conferences, to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
South region is.
Yep.
But who is the third team out of this? Staying in the same state of Michigan? The Wolverines, the Big Ten tournament champions. I think I felt with some feathers on social media, Coach Jones, when I called Michigan the Big Ten champions and not the Big Ten tournament champions.
Yeah.
I see Michigan as the Big Ten champions. I don't know how Coach Johnson feels. I know Michigan State won the regular season title, but when you win the tournament title, I think that means more.
Well, okay, I get it. If you win the tournament, you get an automatic bid. If you win a regular season, it's not necessarily an automatic bid, but it basically is hush hush. It pretty much is an automatic bid. Just as long as you don't screw the pooch and in the first game of the conference tournament, you bow out. But yeah, I mean, by the strength of what they did in the tournament, they're in the tournament now, and now they're one of the 16 teams left. And thank you so much, Michigan. You did what I wanted you to do. You clowned A&M. Thank you. Thank you.
First, they had to get
Late.
past UC San Diego 68-65. What a game
Yeah,
that was.
but they had to sleepwalk in the first round though.
And then a strong second half on the Wolverines.
Thank you,
91-79 victory over the Texas A&M Aggies.
thank you. Put them Aggies out their misery. Thank you, Michigan.
Golden 23 points, 6 for 13 from the field, 9 rebounds and 4 assists to lead the Wolverines in that win. So this is Cole Johnson, Charles Barkley reference. Everybody in the SEC except for Texas A&M in basketball.
Yes. Well, you're right. I somewhat root for Oklahoma to a degree, to a small degree. But yes, you're right.
Because that's what Chuck said on the show the other day. He went for everybody in the SEC except for Alabama in football.
Smart man, and I get why. For those who don't know, he's an alum of Auburn. But yes, you're correct.
You just do the same thing you just doing in basketball. Everybody except Texas A&M in basketball.
That's right. That's right. They can take a seat. But
Pettiness,
everybody else in the SEC, I'll root and support. Yes.
the pettiness is uncanny.
Look. When I was 9, I had a how can I put this? A chump who was all about the Aggies decided to put his hands on me and push me down. Of course, I had to come back and push him in return. And ever since then, I've always wanted to be, that sticker that you see with this wild white boy with the wild hair. And
when you say wild hair, are we talking a spiky hair or are we talking?
Yeah, spiky hair. And he relieves himself on either a Chevy or a Ford. That is me when it comes to A&M.
Jeez Louise.
Too much?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even going to divulge in that one.
All I said is relieve myself. Where was the problem?
You and your hatred for the A&M. Now I know who's number one on the list. It's actually Texas A&M's number one on the list. I finally got that answer.
Look, to show that there was no bias in my bracket, I had A&M go from the first round. I did not have them eliminated. I had them win, but I knew that they were going to run against Michigan and get their butts whooped in round 32. So, see, I'm not all the way petty.
Oh boy. Michigan joins Michigan State from the Big Ten into the Sweet 16.
You made my day, Michigan. Thank you.
But there's one more team to come out of the South, the Ole Miss Rebels.
Talk about from the no one saw this coming department.
First off, they took down North Carolina 71-64, and then they dominated the 3-seed Iowa State en route to a 91-78 win.
Now, I picked Ole Miss in my bracket. I did not think they were going to be 13 points better than Iowa State.
Technically, they were better than that. Technically, if you saw the game, they were actually way more than that dominant.
Yeah, I did not think they would. I did not think they would beat Iowa State by double digits. I figured it was going to be a close game. And I figured Iowa State was going to give them a fight. They did not.
Sean Paluda, 20 points in each of the first two games. 7 for 14 against North Carolina, 6 for 13 against Iowa State, 6 and 8 assists respectively with 6 rebounds. The Rebels are the running. So your regional semis participants from the South region down into the ATL. Auburn, Michigan State. Yeah, Auburn, Michigan State, Michigan, and Ole Miss. ATL, get ready. You have an SEC Big Ten showdown coming your way. Now, as you notice, we only had one upset in the South. That was the New Mexico over Marquette. Outside of that, fairly chalk.
It was that upset me because that was an upset that I chose, but it didn't happen.
Oh well, things happen.